DJ name is DJ Mike, and I was born in Peru, yeah. I was a year old when I came to the States, so wasn't that, I grew up basically here. I went back, I saw Machu Picchu and everything, visited some old relatives, but yeah, basically been here practically all my life. I was literally listening to the radio, and I was literally clapping to all the music that was being mixed by the DJs on the radio. And so I was very, very impressed just sitting till 1 in the morning in the basement while my parents thought I was asleep. And I'm just listening to this little small radio that had one little speaker on it. And I think it was a 102 or 103 point something. It was a Baltimore station, and they were doing some house music. And I was like, oh, I know this next song they're mixing, I know it. And then it was that song, and I was just like, yes. I felt like I was playing right next to them. And then when they shut off, I think at 3 in the morning, the club that they were at, I was just sad because I was like, I gotta come back and hear this. And it was only gonna happen like the weekends, basically, like a Friday, Saturday. So every time I would tune in, and I was, I don't know, 8 years old, 9 years old, and I just was really like into just the art of that. I just really enjoyed it. And then I started learning about it and saw what it takes to be a DJ and everything. And it's my passion. I really, really enjoy music. I think my mom has a picture of me where she caught me like kneeling down listening to the radio, and she took a picture of me, and I'm like looking at her with that little radio, and I'm like kneeling down. It's a very memorable picture because that shows how much I really was into it. I went to this wedding. I must have been something like 16. I was invited to a wedding. There was this DJ James. He was DJing similar to the kind of the DJs in the radio. And so I was like just watching what he was doing, and I crossed my arms and I go, do you mind if I stand here? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And so my mom said, come and dance with everybody. I'm like, no, I just want to watch what he's doing. So I literally watched him for like an hour and a half doing everything he was doing. And then, I went, danced a little bit, and I said, oh, he's playing this other song, he's mixing this other song. And I said, sorry, can't dance. Went back, and I stood there for the rest of the time. It's funny because nowadays, if I'm DJing, I'll see somebody do that. And I'll be like, I know what they're doing. I know that they really, really enjoy seeing the art, like trying to figure out what's coming next, suggest songs even. That's just such a cool thing because I'm like, I was there before. So I reached out to James and I said, hey, I think this is amazing. You have this cool setup, a nice Pioneer setup and everything. And he said, I actually need an assistant. So if you want, I can't pay you much, but if you want to be an assistant DJ, and I go on the road, and if you want to join. So they were called, his name was New Sound DJs, NU Sound DJs. He occasionally said, go ahead and take over for 10 minutes, and then it would 20 and 30, and then he went and he would do the announcements and everything, and I would just play the music towards the end of the night. And so I got used to that feel of being a part of it, really being part of it, instead of just being a part of the setup and the breakdown and just watching most of the time. That's what got me started, was him. He really let me, took me under his wing and showed me the ropes. So, I mean, if somebody really wants to learn, I think that's one of the best ways is to be an assistant for someone for a while. That was a couple years of that, and then I started really, looking around to see if I can find a venue where I can DJ at. The venues that I was doing, I just did mostly top 40s. I noticed more Latin people were asking me, hey, can you play some reggaeton? Can you play some merengue? And I'm like, sure. What song? And literally was like, what song? But I was hoping I would have it. And so I would take notes of what songs repeated itself. I built a little bit of a Latin collection of music, but honestly, I didn't have as much as I needed. And when I started doing the clubs, I was doing, you know, barcode, doing, you know, top 40s and hip hop, and the other DJ was there with me. He's also like, yo, you're Latin, man. You're not doing the Latin floor? I'm like, I didn't start off that way. But hey, if you want me to speak in Spanish, I got you. There's a salsa song that's, I don't know, 40 years old or something, and it still gets played to this day. But there's songs that were like from 2 years ago that were on the radio that nobody wants to hear at all, or that came out like 2 weeks ago. Nobody cares. But they'll ask for that same song that's literally 40, 50 years ago. It's that old, but they're like, do you have that? And it's not a remix, nothing. They want that original one. So to know that there's music that could last, and people, the young crowd even really enjoys these songs, it's amazing. So it's a big honor for me to play a lot of these artists' music that, you know, that they work so hard to produce. I've seen another DJ say the same thing online, where he said, you're waiting for the that moment where you're like, thank you very much, have a good night, or, you know, it's an honor, congratulations, and then you just wait for that second. You don't shut your laptop off, your mixer, control, you just wait. And they're like, can you play one more? Can you play 2 more songs? Do you mind staying another half hour? I had a Puerto Rican one that I did a couple of years ago, and they said, can you stay an hour? And I was like, sure. They literally were partying, and it's just, it's that it's almost better than a thank you, because you really can't do anything more but feel honored. I mean, it's the ultimate compliment. It's the ultimate compliment, because you really feel like they want more.